Welcome, guys, to the Employee to CEO training. Okay, I'm so excited that you've opted in, first and foremost, to receive this training. And I'm even more excited to be able to deliver a shit ton of value to you. Okay, now I absolutely love being able to deliver as much value as I possibly can to you guys inside of my community. I am so grateful that I have such beautiful, empowering, inspiring people in my audience, in my community, who are constantly engaging and learning through the content that I do deliver. So it's honestly an honor that you have clicked onto this experience, even if it is just a free training. But I should never say just a free training, because whether it is $0, whether it's $90, or whether it's $1,000 that you are spending, you are investing into yourself, into these trainings that I deliver, absolutely every single one of them is jam-packed with value that is going to help transform your business, your results, and ultimately the life that you live, right? Because that is why we start businesses. That is why we create a business, because we want to be able to not only transform our own life, but transform the lives of other people as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for checking out this Employee to CEO training. I am so excited to dive in and get this underway. So I'm going to give you a quick little overview on a couple different things we are going to touch on in this training. The first thing we're going to look at is employee mindset versus CEO mindset, okay? Because I mean, this training is about going from being an employee to becoming the CEO of your own company, right? And so there is some mindset shifts that need to happen in order to do so. Not only are there mindset shifts, though, wow, I really cannot say mindset shifts. Not only are there mindset shifts that are going to happen in order to become a CEO of a company, whether it's 6, 7, 8 figures, whatever it is that you desire, there's also some actionable steps that need to be taken as well. So first of all, we'll look at the mindset side of things. Then we're going to have a look at your vision and goals. And finally, take a look into the systems side of business. Okay, so get ready, get excited. Let's dive into this. So when we're looking at employee mindset versus CEO mindset, really what's important is that you are actively working on your mindset every single day, right? You need to be creating at least 1 hour per day to do intentional, personal, or professional development work. Because what this is going to do is this is going to develop you as an individual. This is what's going to grow you into that CEO that you desire to become. It doesn't just happen on its own. And the longer you sit and you wait for that shift to happen magically out of nowhere one day, the longer you're going to be stuck exactly where you are right now. So what we want to do is we want to be intentional about expanding our mindset, expanding our skill set, building our confidence, building our belief, right? In ourselves and in our value, all of it. And now there's a key difference between the mindset of an employee versus the mindset of a CEO. And I think it's really important that I highlight this difference for you, so then you can actually reflect and see, okay, well, where am I at the moment? Whereabouts am I sitting right now? So the first thing I want you to look at is the mindset of an employee. When we're talking about the mindset of an employee, they are obsessed with being busy. Okay, they're obsessed with being busy, always making sure they're doing something. And they're also always focused on doing everything, right? Even if everything isn't what they need to be doing or what their priorities are. So you're obsessed with being busy right now, yes or no? The second thing is that an employee only takes the next steps when they feel qualified enough, or when they've waited for approval from others, right? They don't take initiative. They don't take charge. They don't take the leap, right? They don't stretch their comfort zone before they're ready. They just take the next step when they feel they're qualified enough, or when someone gives them permission to do so. So is that a yes or a no for you right now? Is that something that you're leaning into currently? An employee also believes that their value comes from how much time they spend working. So how much of your belief in your value is based off the time exchange that happens in the process? And an employee is also scared to delegate in their business. So have a reflect on those 4 key points and ask yourself, are you right now sitting inside an employee mindset? And I'm not surprised if you are, because it's only natural that when we do come from a world, a society, corporate society that is so conditioned us to believe that this is how we need to function, how we need to think, then it's natural, right? That you've been conditioned to be in this employee state of mind rather than a CEO state of mind. We need to recognize those areas so then we can start to reprogram and recondition. So when we're looking at the opposite side of the spectrum and we're looking at the CEO mentality, right? What this looks like is becoming obsessed with results, okay? Revenue, profitability, retained customers, minimizing the time that you spend doing anything that doesn't generate results, okay? This is what it looks like when we become results obsessed. And as the CEO of your company, you need to be obsessed with results. No one else can do that role for you. The second thing is you need to understand that your time and, more importantly, your energy are your most valuable assets that should not be given away loosely. And that's the mistake that I made at the start of my business. I was giving my time and my energy away so loosely. And then I realized, hang on, this is my most valuable asset and I am like running myself dry of it. Got to put some boundaries in place and got to take a step back and got to sit in that CEO position. The next area of the CEO's mindset, and this is probably the most important area too, it's about having a clearly defined vision. A clearly defined vision of where your business is heading and ultimately being able to evaluate all decisions based on that long-term goal. So are you thinking like future planning? Are you thinking big picture? Are you looking 3, 5, 10 steps ahead? If not, then you need to start defining a clearer vision and clearer goals for what you actually want to be working towards in your business. There's 2 final points. Had a little bit of tickle in my throat. There's 2 final points on this CEO mindset I do want to touch on. The first being confidently outsourcing areas. So as you know, employees, they're scared to delegate. As the CEO, you need to be able to confidently outsource areas of your business that are draining your time and energy. And you also need to have strong leadership skills because you need to be able to successfully manage whatever team you bring on, whoever you do delegate tasks to, right? So of these 5 areas of the CEO mindset, how many of these are you showing up for right now? And excuse me, and which areas do you need to actually start working on the most? Now, while we're on this point of mindset, before we do move forward, I also want to address the importance of really focusing on development instead of growth. Now, when we focus on growth, we're really focusing on how close are my numbers to the goal that I want to achieve, right? How close am I to reaching that $10,000? How close am I to reaching that $80,000? Like we're so fixated on the numbers. But when we focus on development, we're focusing on how can I develop myself into the version of myself who has achieved that goal? What parts of myself need to grow, need to expand so that naturally the growth, the results, the numbers will follow. And this is an important shift that really needs to happen because when we're too focused on growth, we're missing out on those key areas of our own development that are actually going to get us that growth, get us those numbers, get us those results, right? So are you focusing on growth or development right now? And how can you start to shift your focus? Now, with this as well, leadership development is so freaking important. If you guys want to be like building a business with a team, etc., like you need to develop yourself as a leader. So are you focusing? Are you prioritizing this right now? So that wraps up the mindset section, the CEO mindset, going from an employee to a CEO's mentality of what I wanted to share with you guys today. And now I want to dive into the more actionable nitty-gritty steps that you can be taking to really make that shift from being an employee to being a CEO. Now, obviously, we need to get clear on our vision and goals. We really, really, really need to look at our vision and goals. Now, we need to be thinking big picture here. That was something that I mentioned, that a CEO does. They have a clearly defined vision of where their business is heading. So coming back to that question, how big are you thinking right now? Now, we want to think big picture. And when we're thinking big picture, it's about looking at like, what is your vision for your company? What are the types of people that fit into that vision? How can you start to reverse engineering your vision? How can you start to reverse engineer your vision to actually take actionable steps towards getting there? And how can you start creating that roadmap to success? Because when we get clear on these things, all of a sudden we get clearer on our big picture. We get clearer on where we're going. And once we're clear on where we're going, we can figure out exactly how we are going to get there. So if you're going to be stepping out of that employee mentality, an employee, their boss does that for them. But as a CEO, that is your job. That is your role. That is your responsibility. Now, what we also want to be thinking about with this vision and goals aspect is that in order to achieve our goals, we need to work on time and energy management. Okay, what this means is we need to learn how to manage ourselves better. We need to manage ourselves better so that we can manage our team better. So are you even managing your priorities right now? Are you even efficiently managing your time and your energy right now? Because if the answer is no, then you have no hope. Sorry for the hard truth, but you have no hope of managing a team. And it's not easy. It is not easy. And that is where like the biggest level, the biggest depth of self-development you will probably reach in your journey is when it comes to learning how to lead others. Because that highlights so many parts of yourself that you didn't realize that you even needed to work on. It's hard enough managing yourself, let alone managing other people. So we need to develop ourselves into the version of ourselves who has the ability to handle greater amounts of stress, pressure, responsibility, energy, people, right? So then we can successfully manage others as well. But that comes back to working on your time management, working on your energy management, and learning your priorities, setting better boundaries, right? The whole thing. And that is really what I wanted to share with you guys on vision and goals. Okay, so hopefully that highlights some areas for you that you can really start working on yourself to start to embody, right? It's all about the embodiment, to start to embody that CEO energy. Now, the final thing that I want to touch on with you guys is systems. Systems. This is what is going to enable you to actually see any sort of growth, any sort of success in your business. Systems are so freaking important, guys. Without clear systems, you are not going to have a strong, stable, growing, thriving business. And this is the thing, right? If you don't set your systems up from the start and you do experience growth, there is going to reach a point where you're actually going to need a backtrack and you're going to have to clean everything up. Okay, because in order to then get to that next step, you need to make sure your systems have been refined, your systems have been cleaned, and in fact, that they have been put in place. So what's really important when we are really stepping into that CEO position, stepping out of that employee position, I think you guys can really notice a key theme here, right? An employee has these things done for them by their boss, and then they are told what to do. But as the CEO, you actually have to be doing all of this stuff yourself, right? Because you are setting the standard for your business. So start creating systems to really, really help you see those results you want to see. Because if you're going to be the CEO, you need to eventually build a team. And in order to support that team, you need to have systems. Okay. Now, in the building stages of your business, which is where you're at right now. Okay. If you're watching this video, then you're in your building stages of your business, because if I align with you, then that means that you are not ahead of me in terms of what I'm teaching you. So in the building stages of your business, which is likely between, I'd say like that $0 to $500,000 mark in annual revenue. So I am even in my building stages of my business, right? Because I have not yet hit that $500,000 mark. I've done multiple six figures in my business so far, but not $500,000. So when you are below that $500,000 mark, you will still be in the building phase. So from there, once the foundation is built, what you can do is you can focus on scaling, but you cannot scale if you haven't actually built the foundations as of yet. So when it comes to building these foundations, what we need to do is really set up SOPs. Okay, we want to be setting up SOPs. Now, if you don't know what SOPs are, SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. And basically, these are like manuals for your business. This is like the step-by-step guide of how you run your business, right? All the different systems, all the different processes inside of it. Now, if you are the only person within your company at the moment, then you should be setting up the SOPs now of all the different systems and all of the different roles that you have, because these systems, these SOPs really do create consistency and efficiency in our business. And if you can start to set these up now, then when you do take that next step forward and hire your first team member, you've already got this stuff laid out for them, which is super, super important, okay? Because if you want your team to work efficiently, you need to make sure that you're providing them with the resources that they need to actually succeed. And SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures, are that resource. Now, I did do a really awesome training inside the Business Builder Hub and also inside of my business academy, the Aligned Coaching Academy, on SOPs. And I also share some of my own SOPs inside of those containers as well. So if that's something you're curious about, that could definitely be a potential next step for you in terms of starting to actually learn more and lay out these SOPs for your own business. But basically, guys, like the reason why SOPs are so important is because they keep your business clean. And what we want to be doing is we want to be making sure that we are keeping our business clean from the get-go. From the get-go, because as I said before, if you wait a year down the track, or God forbid, 2 years down the track, 5 years down the track, you're going to have a heck of a lot of cleaning up to do. Okay. Even in my past 16 months of business, it's July of 2022 right now. So in the past 16 months of my business, right, I've had so much cleaning up to do in the areas of SOPs because I did not do them in the first 12 months, right? So this past 6 months has really been all about setting up these foundations, cleaning up whatever mess was made. So learn from me. Learn from my experience and get onto your SOPs now. In saying that, guys, in terms of the next steps that you should really be taking, I mean, what I've shared with you now summarizes the key shifts that you really do need to make to go from that employee to CEO of your company, of your 6, 7, 8-figure company, right? And those 3 key foundations of shifting your mindset, really getting clear on your vision and goals, and also laying out clear systems. Those 3 keys are what you need to be focusing on to be able to make that leap, to be able to go from being just an employee to becoming a CEO of a true setup company. Okay. Now, if you are wanting to figure out what your next steps are from here, because today's training was really about highlighting the key areas that you should be focusing on. But of course, there's so much more depth that is yet to go into in each of these areas. And when it comes to implementation as well, like knowing exactly how to go about that can be difficult for some people. So you got 2 options. Your first option, of course, is to go away, do the research on your own and figure out all of your next steps from here on forward in your own time using Google or whatever search engine is your best friend. Or option 2 is you can actually join me inside of the CEO strategy series, which is going to teach you how to shift your mindset and how to shift your activity. Everything we spoke about today, from being in that place of an employee in your business to becoming the CEO of your company. Okay, so inside the CEO strategy experience, what I'm going to be doing is teaching you the exact steps that you need to take in order to create transformations in each of these areas that we've spoken about today. So how to really transform your mindset on that deep level from being just an employee to becoming the CEO, how to really lay out your vision, your goals, reverse engineer them, create the plan, start to figure out how team members factor into your business and what the next steps are you should take there. And also laying out your systems, how to lay out your systems, how to create SOPs, what SOPs specifically you should be creating. And even inside the CEO strategy, I'm going to give you guys exclusive access to some of my key SOPs in my business so that you guys can have the exact step-by-step plan of what it is I do with each of these areas. Okay, so the CEO strategy is going to be an epic opportunity. That is a potential next step for you. If you feel ready and you want to dive into that, then the link is, of course, added in the description for you of this training, so you can go and access that now. And then the second opportunity that you guys have as your next steps is to book your complimentary 15-minute implementation call with me. And what we're going to do is we are going to plan your next steps, okay? What it is you've learned from today, how are you going to start implementing it? And if you know how to implement, or maybe you just want to come and have a chat with me, you're more than welcome to pop onto that 15-minute session and ask me how it is we can continue to work with each other in other capacities. Because I do have such a wide product suite ranging from the Business Builder Hub all the way up to my business academy and my one-to-one coaching program, which I invite you to come and learn about if that is something that you feel drawn in doing so. So you can take advantage of that 15-minute implementation call for that conversation, or just to map out how exactly you're going to move forward with your next steps of taking action on what you learned today. So guys, all the links are in the episode description. I think this is a podcast. All the links are in the description for you. You can go below, you can click it now and be directed directly to the resource that you were looking for. But if that is all for us and we will be not connecting further, I hope that we can connect further. I really, really do hope to see some of you joining me in either these programs or on those implementation calls. But if that is all that you want from me today, then thank you so much, guys, for watching this training. I hope that it was valuable for you, and I hope that you really did take something away from it. But remember, you can't just stop here. You have to take some steps forward to really implement and action what you learned, because knowledge alone is not power. It's applied knowledge that is power. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this training. Thank you so much for coming along and having a listen of the employee to CEO strategy training. Take care, guys, and I will see you when I see you next.